Sir, my friend. Then he said, first tell me, you are his friend or he is your friend? No, he said, because he is so young, he said, sir, we both are friends. He is my friend, I am. Then how can you decide for him? That are you his friend or he is friend? Then he said, he was little hesitant. Then he said, I am his friend. Then he said, now you will know. Because you have to decide, you can't see the other side. You have to decide whether you are or not. What is coming from the other side, that is their devotion. So, this is how any relationship we invest like this. It is always one sided investment. That is why we say, so long as there is a divinity in a relationship, then only that is a true relationship. Because if you are 100% devoted, then God, because divinity is in that relationship, you cannot be left that response will not be there. The response has to be there. If we are not seeing it that way, that means we are lacking how to see. Or whatever is coming, that is because of our karma. This should be the mirror for every kind of relationship. Then we will not be distressed. That I have to see from one side. See, there comes this story that in every part, is Ram Katha it is there, Krishna Katha it is there. Because these, as I told, these are the forms which symbolizes how much human being can evolve and how they should behave. So this Lakshman he left his young wife behind and went to the jungle. So he thought, I am most close to the Ram. And because he was everything leaving behind, but and Bharat is coming with army. So then he says, look, he is coming to fight with us. Then at that moment Ram tells him, no, Such subandhu priya Bharat sarikha vidhi prapanchamahu likha na dekha. The good brother like Bharat, there is no one in this creation like him. He did not say you are less dear to me or he is more dear to me. He just said like him there is no other brother in this whole creation. Suchi means pure. Subandhu, very good brother, relation. There is not busy villain one. Same story and different from repeated in Krishna form. So there is this Radha who thinks, no, I can do anything. I see. So sometimes he says, now I am tired, you do this champi to me. And suddenly he disappears after doing. Then she realizes that without him she is nothing. So then he reappears and then it tells, look, you have to this, I have to do, so that you become clear about it. That we are dependent on God. It is not other way around. So in every relationship also, if we see it really mutual, then we should see in our heart that way. Behavior is whatever we do accordingly, but because you are investing not in some person, like we are appearances, divinity is the real sense. Other are only appearances only. So who are we saying? Why I am saying there should be God in everything, middle. What you call divinity, God is also become now much more abused word somewhere. So divinity we say at least, that it is your investment. In divinity, that relationship is a form, like as they say Navadha Bhakti, 9 kinds of, what are they? Are 9 kind of relationship only. You consider him, Draupadi considers friend. That is her relationship. Then there is Shauri, she considers him as God. There is his wife, considered him something, her husband. Then there is a father who considers him a good brother, son. So these are all different seers. They consider him the ultimate whom they want to attain to, want to with me. So these all are our funnels to reach there. If that happens, that the funnels keep some kind of this thing, what you call, touching each other or intervening, then this is not good. So whatever we are making, that should be our own. That works in worldly relations as well, there will be less quarrels in the family. Because you are same. When you are dealing with the daughter, you are the mother. When you are dealing with husband, you are the wife. When the same is for every relationship. Husband looking at daughter, he is father. But he is looking at wife, he is looking at wife. So that way. So all relationships, the person is same. But they have every dignity of every relationship. It should go according to that. So that is what I was saying when he said, are you his friend or he is your friend? So he should be very clear about such things. Then there will be less of a what you call a struggle in life, and more of a smoothness will be there. And rest is our practice that keeps us going, because that is the only constant which is there. Otherwise, how to relate? It is like this, we say this is make believe world. That is how people realize, and they say it is just play of consciousness. All play of consciousness means anything. If you realize in that sense, then until unless you have to work with it, it doesn't exist for you. It exists only in consciousness. Anything, suppose a chair is there because you have to work. Otherwise, it came into being just because there was an idea, and that took the form of a chair. If you don't have to do anything with chair, why would you bother at all? So in spirituality, our needs, they keep minimizing, and they become such that that's why the word as much as needed comes. Anything that this much is needed at particular moment. So it is neither your need or nor somebody's. It is needed for that. That is called evolution. So seer sense, and they have no attachment to anything, because for them it is not their need even. That is just need. It is to be done like this. It is not that they have need or somebody else. No, it is a need. So when I say it keeps minimizing, that means they keep reaching to that stage where what is the need of the creation, that alone will manifest through them. So that is why we do not look at them with a judgmental eye. So we may ask when something comes, so that nothing is left in our heart. Why a certain way you are behaving? But that should be clear. But that is the role of it. So that we become clear that there is something much more behind it. If we do not ask, and if we nurse something inside, then it troubles us. This I was telling just before, and somebody came for the sitting. I said, look, this is like this. If someone comes, you come to a mirror, you go to a physical mirror and put a wheel on your face, and you say, I want to see my face. You see wheel. If you go openly, then only you can see, and then you start telling, no, mirror is not showing us. You have to open, then only it can show. So this is how it happens. What is in a guru? It is, there is nothing in fact. It is you who is mirroring there. There is, if you look, there is nothing. It is what you are. Thus your craving that reaches to the ultimate, and there it is reflected. That is how it is called a device. Or people, then there are two kind of ways to tell it. They used to call it yantra also. And then in south, this yantra has been there. In north, the Veda and yantra. The two kinds of, they have been going parallelly very long back. We do not generally tell their timing and all for reasons, different reasons. Attained ones, they are not two things. That is why they do not tell. But in Guru Parampara, they consider that this is different, that is different. But realization for them, they are the same. This is like, it's like your body and your prana. How can you differentiate? Suppose this life goes in it, then what uses of that body? You call yantra or anything. It is very meaningful so long as there is a life in it. So in that way, they are not two. But if somebody says, no, this is two, then yeah, how can I say it is so? So such is the case. So if we go before a mirror with open face, then only we can say, how am I appearing in every sense. So this is our call as seekers, which resounds there and reach back to us, and that is we are seeing. So therein, that is why a realized guru is, we say, is nothingness. There is nothing in it, but only need. Now, if something is left, then it will not be that guru. So there should be left nothing, and it should reach to the minimum, so that it is exactly coming. What is happening in the creation is we exactly reflected like that. And as we evolve, we also realize the same. This is how, because we are saying there is no other. This other concept has been created just because we are appearing so many. But it is the same thing. So how it is, they give an example, Rajat sheep mau bhas jathavari. If you put a silver CP, that eh? Then when the sun rays fall on it, you will see that there is water. They appear like water there, but there is no water. But anytime you look, that it will appear as if there is so much water. So what is the difference? So it is like that, that only divinity is reflecting everywhere, and it has no duality. It is same everywhere. If we become somehow like that, then there is no problem in life at all. Because we do not see, since we have created so many impressions that, no, this pain is to me, this to other, that is to X, that is to Y. So that is the all the time this saints have been trying all across the globe, that you realize the same, that thing is there, that you are the same, there is no difference. What is making you difference is your ignorance. So that comes back to our same topic, that we as seekers are ignorance, not ignorant. And when ignorance is removed, what is left? Knowledge. And the one who knows whom we call knower. So journey is this small. What else to say? So it is up to us. Why this happens is that every time we de-establish soul, time and again, we are not firm. Once we become firm, then what is happening, it is in the course of that only. Now who can, if you say you jump onto a boat, now whatever you are on the boat, whatever respects you are jumping, going here and there, but you are in the boat, then such doubts will not come, because you know that is when you are established. Now, no, I am on the boat. Now what can happen to me? So that is about our own firmness. As much clear that firmness comes, our life, you will see, it has become very spontaneous, and you can take everything in your stride. And that is what we call spiritual maturity, because then your heart widens, then you are not looking for anything, because you have already found what was worth finding. Now you only have to distribute it, let the others also reach to the same. That is what. So that brings you towards saintliness. So in simple words, I am saying, without becoming a saint, you cannot experience divinity. No one can. So this is minimum qualification. And who is a saint? How to know who is a human being? Whatever you are, anything extra if we are looking for, which is not you, that means you are becoming artificial. Now you can then what? Enhancement. If you are going according to the real needs, then automatic enhancement will happen in you. If you are going in the right direction, why will not you see more and more? Why will not your heart widen? It will become more rich. So people forget this. They think that is something else which makes you divine. No, it makes only humanity makes you divine. If that you are doing properly, then where is this progress and all? It is not that you are looking for some, no, suddenly there some flower will appear and say you are fine. So it is people, those who established for doing some business, they only say, no, this he came and, no, this is there. And somebody then looking behind the camera, where from? Was it here or was it here? All kinds of things will happen. So this is, even it is not a big task either. If you want to do that, that's why I prescribe that book, Paul Brinton's. That there he meets so many. Somebody is doing molding the rod, somebody is putting flowers, somebody calling this and that. He says, no, what do I to do with this? I have come for spirituality. I have not come you to show me these tantrums and these whatever you call them, magics. So that holding, because it is so simple, and that is why people do not think that this is the thing. And so never doubt. So about the numbers and all, never think any such things. I'll tell you a story. There used to be this a Swami called, he was a saint, Ranganath. And there was this Ramdas Swami, two saints, but their style of living was entirely different. Ramnath Swami will always remain in line cloth, single cloth, running all over. And Ranganath Swami was fond of very much pomp and show. So all the time horses and all this and pump and show going on. And he has thousands of followers. But if somebody asks him that who is the saint, then he says Ramdas. He is more knowledgeable than me. He said, no, it is your humility. Look, you thousands are thronging to you. There hardly any time you go, 4-5 people will be sitting there. So this is modesty. You are saying this, and I appreciate. So followers are also happy. They look how good Guru is. He is giving to a person. Then kept on going like this. Then one day he asked that Ramdas Swami that you need to come to my katha. I have some doubts, so I want to clear with you. Then he said, no, I would love to come, but I have some engagement with my people. So this kept on going for months and he could not. Then he announced to his followers, whosoever brings Ramdas Swami here, he will get whatever he asks for. So there was this one person. He had 2-3 daughters, some sons. He says, oh, how to get them married. And all those trouble was ailing him. And he used to go to Ramdas Swami. So he says, Guruji, for you what is there? But my daughters will get married, I will get money, all this. He has told me, give for my sake you come at least. He said, look, for if this thing you are calling, then you should tell that correctly. He said, no, for such things I will not go. Then he said, nee, see, you are not looking at my plight and all. Then he said, okay, but you will not ask all this. What I will tell you, that only you have to ask him. Now he was caught between in this side and that side. So he says, okay, whatever you say, that only I'll ask. With teary-eyed, and he took him and he went there. So they were talking for hours together. They were just talking. And every time he'll come now over that, I have to take my money and ask and all this. Then they are still talking. Then finally they both came out. Then he said, Now tell me what. So he said, no, this is the thing that he told me. If you bring, I can ask, but he put a condition. Now he had to, because both were sitting there, so he had to tell no, but he had to. Only what he says, that only I have to ask. Then he said, talk was this only. Then he said, no, you don't have to ask. I am telling you, ask him whatever we got with this discussion or satsang, you get 1/4 of it. That is what you have to ask. Then he said, oh, what will I get out of it? So many problems are there. 4 hours they were breaking their head. And this they are saying 1/4 of that you go. I will better do some work. What is the point? So but he's saying, so he said, okay, I'm asking you, give me 1/4. And the moment he says, he was a different person. That is what we call Shakti path. If the true thing is there, so there are ways. So, so he became a different person. He said, I don't want anything now. Something like Vivekananda. Every time Ramakrishna is saying, go ask, and he'll go and he said, no, I will not. He said, then why are you saying I have troubles? You go and ask, I am sending you. Yeah, you will get fulfilled, whatever you want. He said, no, why should I ask this then? I ask something else. So same thing, he said, no need. Then he said, now you can ask whatever you wanted. He has enough. So that also he got, and this also he got. So Pig's story I was telling is that these seers were doing yajna, and they were very devoted to a particular form, Vishnu. So they said, I want your darshan. You come Pratyaksh. I said, okay, I'll come. Now they are doing very devotedly their. And suddenly a pig comes and destroys everything. And these, when they are yajna, ahuti and everything is, it comes and just roams around. And so these saints get angry, start beating the pig. So they don't realize that, but beat and then they say, sitting, he said, again they sit in meditation, said, you come, said, I had come, look at your backs. So they were all beaten up themselves, those saints. Because they were so much one with it. And he also says the same thing. I came in the form of that pig. How could you see difference in anything? You did not tell me that come as this form. You said come, I have come. And in other words, I am you also. Look at your backs. Ask each other. Then you are beating yourself, nobody else. Because you are also one with me. So we say this difference has not to be seen in human beings. They are same. But when we attain to it, then we realize it, that how it is. So that is why we say becoming everything known means this. That you realize it, that it is that, and that becomes. This is the journey. So long as we have this thing, that some kind of firmness is not there. Otherwise, the idea is very simple. That only you see, if God is there, then where are you sitting? Because the second idea is it is everywhere. Now, where else you can sit? What else you can do? What is lacking? Because you are not focused. You are not establishing. You are not firm in your being. Yeah, it is those, because then you one thing you propose and you cut it by another. If you are going, this is a simple truth everywhere. That's why people lived thousands years in that way. No compass needed, nothing needed. The heart is telling them, go this, do this, and that. World is running smoothly. No issues. So that all, where have those capacities gone? Oh, where? Only we have forgotten them. So again, if we from head to heart, the journey we say this is small. If you give importance, a prime place to your heart, then with all the impressions around gathered so far, undergo that bhogam because that you have created, and then again you are saying. So this becomes difficult when we go outside, but it should not become. That's what we are saying. The moment you realize that oneness, then how it can be difficult? It cannot be much difficult either. So about one's own firmness, we should look at simplicity, being human. This form or frame, whatever we call it, alone is there in whole creation, which is capable of soaring to the highest. It has potential unfathomable. No other form has that. Not even whom we call this ethereal form. They also cannot evolve. They are already evolved, but they have no scope to evolve. If they have to evolve, they have to come, and it's like workshop. They have to stay in this place and evolve. And this for this way is simple. Just be human as much as human we can be. When we become entirely human, then parhit will automatically come in our heart, looking for others' welfare because there is no other, and that makes world beautiful because you have evolved beyond yourself. Now you look care for the other. Automatically, if you see this formula logically, then somebody is caring for you. When it has become universal, then somebody will find caring for you. And nobody will, since you are caring for the other, nobody will call you selfish. And your need are also getting fulfilled by somebody else. That story, very small somebody made, and it's true. That tub was kept, and that payasam or kheer, whatever was kept, and they were giving a long ladles, a spoon with long ladles, and he said, "Eat." Now, ladle was such long that nobody could eat on its own, so they had started feeding one another. So that is how interdependent humanity is. That is how dependence is. So long as there is a form, there is dependence. And then you realize the real dependence, then that is an entirely different state. You just feel like crying, that's all. And that cry is not sad, and that cry is of fulfillment. This is how it is. In Ram's case, it is most of the life he was seen crying only. No work, hardly spoke. Whosoever said this is like this, and हाँ ठीक है ऐसे ही है. If this is like हाँ this ऐसे ही है ठीक है. Nothing. So on this land, such people have stayed. That is our fortune. They have left their vibration when they were in body. If only a few people, the idea and reality is, even if one person is there on earth at one point of time, only one person. It is like seed, no? If you have a seed of a plant, anytime you can grow. So even if a single person is truly devoted, is there on earth, this earth has a future. If there becomes little more number, it may turn into heaven. Somebody has to do it. Whatever needs to be done, howsoever small that step may be, that needs to be taken in its entirety, and then it will be there. So mostly these days problems are that intellectual discussion is there, but people are not ready to implement that. They give very good idea, and this hard you do this and do this. No, we want peace, world peace, and then they are fighting. How contradictory things. If you look at the plight of the world, they say peace, then why are you keeping army? They say don't kill, then why are you manufacturing arms? They want welfare, then why the nation states? Welfare of all means why you need that? And that too for separating. For functional purpose, if you have, that can be understood. You have it for separation. That I want your trade. I want just to export, not import anything. This is happening because what they are doing intellectually, they are not doing it by other three remaining. Neither in their memory, neither in their ego, neither in their what is mind. Otherwise, where is the hurdle? All nations sit and decide that this should be done, and as it is needed to be done. Who will say no? Because they are saying this, but they don't mean this. They mean something else. You will find it is going back. That is how it has been designed. And it will go for such things like intellectual property rights. No, I have told you, grow tree, give me money for telling this. It's my idea. It is copyrighted. I told you. Only hope lies in human heart. If a human being is willing to choose, then there is hope all the time. To make it see beautiful, otherwise it is not that in creation nothing, no problem. Whatever happens with your creation is going on as it is. But to make it your life meaningful, this is translated in that way. It is, and the changes are visible. People are somehow, because human beings have this to come back to their senses. If they are going wrong, they have this inbuilt that they can come back. This time, this tussle is going on about artificial intelligence and humanity, because some people are experimenting other way also, but they are all warning. Is the first they told go this way, now they are saying come back. So such are the signs that people will come back. Because otherwise one part says no, keep on experimenting with it, and that ultimately, as they show in movies, no, you are eating plastic pills, you are having some limbs entirely then artificial. Partly to we are seeing no, have iron rods and all that have come. Hearts they are designing, everything in designing. But they are seeing danger of it now, because you have to be closer to nature. Then only you can, your humanity, until and you do not touch all the senses which you have, from where if you have, so from all these panchatattvas are there. So there needs to be one with that. Then only you become more human. So slowly people are realizing that, and that is the hope. Otherwise, human beings may destroy themselves. So, if we are firm, then this is unidirectional journey. There is no doubt about it. Whatever is happening with us, if we are firm about that, this is how I am on the boat, that's all, then there is no problem at all, despite problems being all around. And this, when it comes through our experience, so that is why the for practice, if you want to experience it more, do it exclusively. 3-4 months you can experience that. There is nothing hidden in it. Then your firmness becomes much more.
You said do it exclusively. What does that mean?
That means, suppose if you want to have some kind of experiences, that means take devoted time. Only like they go in ashram and all, stay for some time alone, ponder over. Once then you are from all other kinds of things are not there, because we generally do not advise this, because ours is a family thing. We say in the midst of family you can do everything. If you are focused, you can do within family. But if you want experiences, that's why I'm saying this way also experiences will come your way. When I say you want very fast to see something, whether it is efficacious or not, for them only. For those minds only, I say if you have any doubt, because if I'm saying something, I should mean that. And I said I have 2-3 months and then see. Say some secluded place and ponder over and just keep the following that and do meditation according, nothing else. You have your own experiences. Then drop them there and come back home. Because that also becomes something, some higher things if you see, some finer aspects, and then you're making proud also. Look, nobody knows this dimension, I know. This mix, everything being mixed creates people confusion, but otherwise also your existence cannot be there. Things are not mixed. It's like knowledge and ignorance, as we say. It is only relative, like light and darkness. Where a point, suppose that there is a whole space and the world is lit there. How do you say that here is the light and here is the darkness? There is no cut point. So long as you see it is light. Once you start, you do not see, you start saying it's darkness. Everything being mixed, that creates people confusion. That's why they call this world it is illusion. It's a mixed. And without mixing, you do not exist. Creation is all mixture. Otherwise, there is no uni. If you have, then what is there? Only one. Nothing. But degeneration happened too much for some time, in some way, and same way evolution is also happening. So comprehend both is your instrument, is your heart. You should not call it basically instrument, but this is the language these days being spoken. This is the place. This is you. So that only tells no this way and that way. That they have made this non-necessary thing appearing to be necessary. That is creating problem for you. And other who are selling those things, they say, oh, if you say, no, I will make it your compulsion. The design is such of the system, design is such that you are forced to do. But if you go closer to nature, then the design fails. But then you need courage. I just told you one example. Somebody told this, how, make me understand how it comes to your neck, the system. I said, look, I have to go to my office, I want to walk. It is 12 kilometers. You say, who is saying you to go in a car? You can walk. Can I walk? So this is the kind of, this final understanding we have to have. If I walk 12 kilometers, when will I work? So system has designed, no, you have a free choice. Where is the free choice? It is not. They are coming to your neck. You do this, you have to do this. Do this, you have to do this. So if you go closer to nature, then the limits will be such that your peace will not be at stake. You have time for everything which is worth devoting time to. Agrarian societies, I do not know for as a fact from other countries, but whatever literature available, there also, but here in India I have first-hand experience. So I cannot doubt that they had very good gala time for everything. They lived their life, family life very well, community life very well, everything was, and they never felt what is scarcity. always prosperous. Everybody prosperous. Poorest of the poorest by current definition, they found that they are prosperous. They don't need anything extra. Happy all the time. You could hardly make out in a village who is unhappy. Because if somebody has some trouble, everybody was there to take care of it. What happened? There was no such boundary there. You can't, here we have to knock somebody's house. There is no such concept in my village. All is open, anybody is going to anybody's house. So that kind of thing was there. Now, so they were happy because they felt they are all one unit. And that too, despite all this, it's not long back I am telling. All these communities, Hindus, Muslims, they all are there. As if you know in those terminology. They never felt like that. It is somebody from outside started telling them, look, you are different. You have to go to this mosque or church or temple. They didn't understand. Idhar bhi jate hain, udhar bhi jate hain. They don't have any problem. This country, because the vibration is such, that is why they can invite everyone. You also come, no problem. We have our own system. You can also adjust. Whosoever comes, this is why we say comes in this land. This is the property of vibration of this land. People left here. So anybody comes. They may take some time and then they become part of it. Only when they come outside, then they want to fight that idea. How it is there. We have whole life we have lived in misery and you are happy here. How come? This country knew very many things and it still knows. One of them is creating God. It can create God. That is why it doesn't believe in any God. It creates. It evolves its human being to such an extent that the creation of God happens here, which is not anywhere else. Now, if you are progeny of the divine, who can do anything to you? That is your birthright. So, this is available here. That is why you say this is a fortunate land. But only agriculture, if that become the way to prosperity. Such nation, if it emerges like this, then only this disarmament can happen. Because we have been suffering from it. We never attacked anyone as a nation. So we found ourselves vulnerable. With others, when they are attacking, they will follow rule. They didn't follow. Here, if they defeated somebody, says, you go back. We don't want to capture you. Just go back. I have told you. You don't do this. It's not worth it. But others are not like this. Whosoever came, they thought, nah, we are smart. It is not smart. It is inhuman. This is anywhere if the countries, if they meet head of the country, first thing is some armament exchange. How many weapons you are going to buy. And that is compulsive. It is not that you have a choice. You have to buy. Otherwise, how their economic superiority will to sell something which is useless. This is the hurdle which we are facing across the globe. That how to change this economic system in such a way that arms becomes futile. Then people will move in the other direction. For that they need to be highly educated. So, there is a word in Hindi, parishkrit, sophisticated. And that can come only with divinity, when they know there are other dimensions in them. Because all the time they are looking from the body's point of view, that we are bodies. So everything is happening in the reverse direction. Once they see their dimensions, their body is just a place, like country is a place. And that has a language barrier again. In Sanskrit only they say such things. Hridadeshe, they call it heart pradesh, desh. ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृददेशे अर्जुन तिष्ठति तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादात् परम शांति प्राप्नोति न संशय. He says Ishwar Sarvbhutanam, in all the beings God is nestled in Hridadeshe. Desh word has come there. So real Desh is that. So people come to one when you realize your other dimensions. No, though this is only a place to be. Then you will not fight. Otherwise, you fight for the body, then you fight for the country, fight for everything. So this reverse direction we have taken because of these arms race. Because they made something which is not primary that appear as primary. Because that is necessity. So you cannot, even a divine person cannot say, no, I do not need body. You need body to evolve. But if somebody catches the lower leg, what can be done about it? So they say, no, ignorance, if it has to be removed from all, then only it becomes knowledge. If a single person is left ignorant, it can play havoc. So this kind of environment can be created from human heart.